Why is maintenance so hard?
Yeah. People will stick around and count macros with me for, well, I initially have everybody do 3 months. So after that, maybe they'll do another month and then they're like, all right, I got this. And then 3 more months go by and they come back to me and I'm like, well, what happened? Like, what do you think happened? And I ask them like sincerely, well, I got comfortable. I just started to get a loose with things. I stopped tracking. Didn't feel like I needed to put everything on the scale anymore, which is fine. But if you're not somebody that's good at keeping yourself in check, it can slip away from you pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one is like you're saying, over time, things probably just start to slip a little bit. Mm-hmm. I also think like where I've seen people struggle a lot is like specifically like with weight loss clients, which is probably, a good chunk of the people that you're working with. It's like you see them, shed. Again, if they're working with you, they're going to do it a little conservatively, but even if people are doing it on their own, they might be more aggressive with their weight loss. Mm-hmm. But either way, it's like, say they're doing this on their own. It's like they lost the weight, and where the struggle point is going from like they have all this momentum while they're losing the weight to now I just want to be at a healthy spot for like the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And making the transition between like I'm being really aggressive and like trying to lose weight really actively to like now I'm going to back off a little bit, and doing that in a way where they don't just go completely off the rails. I feel like a lot of people mess up, frankly.
Yeah. It's like the habits that they've put in place all the time that they spend with me just kind of go to the wayside, and they kind of forget, what and why they were doing it. And I think too, like they just get comfortable, and they saw all this progress doing all this tracking, and I think maybe they just get to a point where they're like, oh, I don't got to do that anymore. I'm finally at my goal weight. And there's more, dinners out and more parties, and I'm going to have another cheat meal this week. No big deal. I think people just get really comfortable just sort of letting it go.
Yeah. Do you have any, it could just be as simple as like you got to stay on it and keep tracking and stuff, but like do you have any other piece of advice for people who are making that transition from like a cut into maintenance?
I think that, just make sure that you have created the habits to a point where it's sort of second nature for you. I think that I could probably go, when I go on vacation, I can go all those days and not track anything and still come back and be the same way I was. But I'm also really good at knowing, okay, with each meal, I have to have my protein. So you can just sort of gauge what you need to have without tracking it all the time. You should, kind of know from your day to day what you need to have with each meal just by sort of eyeballing it. And just circle back like every month and just start to track again and see where you're at and see how far off you've actually gotten.
But what if I just like brush my teeth and I just want to be done brushing my teeth now?
Your teeth would be really gross.
Honestly, like I feel like that's a good example.
You'd have to go to the dentist a little more often.
I get my teeth brushed every 6 months. Like, gosh.
And a lot of people don't want to spend the rest of their lives tracking. For me, it's become such a habit that I track almost every single day. But you don't have to if you have a general idea of what your plate needs to look like as far as protein, carbs, and fats, then you don't need to. That's
more like flossing. That's like completely optional.
Yeah.
What you really need to do is brush your teeth. I don't know. The analogy probably breaks down somewhere, but I guess my point was like there's certain habits that you just need to do forever.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Like at no point should you just be like, oh, I don't care how many hours I sleep and I'm just going to go to bed whenever I want and wake up whenever I want. Like even when I'm retired someday, like I will be consistent with sleep and wake times because it allows you to thrive. Mm. And I feel like the same thing with nutrition. There's going to be certain habits in place where like you can't just eat like a heathen because you're no longer in, weight loss mode.
Right.
It's like, hey, I'm going to majority of the time eat as clean as I can because it allows me to feel good and be healthy over the long term.
Right.
And that the other side of that is if I don't do that, I'm going to put on pounds, but then I also don't feel good. My energy's low. There's all these other consequences that are ripples of that. Mm. And I know what that entails and I don't want any part of it, right? I'm still going to live my life. There's going to be things that I choose to do like, okay, I'm at a party. I might have a drink or some cake or like whatever. Sure. But it's like you're not going to do that every Tuesday and Thursday
Right.
or whatever, right?
Right. It shouldn't be part of what you do forever. And your nutrition, like your general nutrition, should be a part of what you do forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep brushing your teeth.
Keep flossing.
That's optional.
That's extra.